these are notes that I've originally did on the YHWH. Um, and I don't know, there's a lot of names out there about Yeshua and everyone else, and this one is specifically on Elohim and YHWH, or my notes on it. Man, these are my notes, and I'm not gonna video my notes because they're hard to see. But I just wanted to do a quick video, well, relatively quick video, about Yahweh. And Jesus has name has changed quite a few times as well. It's like what, the 15 or 1600s. It was Isus, Iesus, because they didn't have a J in the olden days, and somewhere along the line between that time and like 17 or 1800s, it changed to Jesus. So his original name was Yeshua, and you ought to look up those names as well, because there's meanings behind them. I think one of them is like salvation. But I've learned to pay attention to names. But we're going to talk about YHWH, and it's a Hebrew name revealed to Moses. It's Yod He Vav He, or so Yod is the Y, He is the H, Vav, it's actually, I guess, V8, V, and then He is He again, and it's interpreted he who makes that which has been made, or he who brings into existence whatever exists. So obviously a very good name for God, because he did bring everything into existence. A spiritual being who is attached to Yeshua and Holy Spirit in a Trinity, three personalities or beings inhabiting one body. And that's what, I mean, I've done a little bit of research on this. And Yeshua is Jesus, and that is his. I don't know if it's Aramaic or Hebrew, but and YHWH is was called by almost 1,000 different names in Bible, 6,800 times in Old Testament. And YHWH is the sacred personal name of the people of Israel, only spoken aloud by priests. After destruction of the temple in 70 AD, they substituted Adonai, so pronunciation was lost. So we don't know the true pronunciation of this name. Draws near to save you from bondage of sin, is another interpretation. Exodus 3:13 through 15, name by which God has chosen to be remembered throughout all generations, was YHWH, or Adonai. Elohim, replacement for YHWH. One self-existent, eternal God. He doesn't need us, but wants us. I mean, he could easily do everything on his own. He can easily tell us where to go and what to do, but he chooses to use us. He loves us so much that he wants us to work with him, and yes, he knows every thought. He knows everything you do, but he wants to hear from you. He wants to hear from your lips how everything's going. He doesn't care if you're upset. He doesn't care if you're whatever. He just wants you to tell him what's going on, and he understands, and he'll be there for you. Just give him a chance. He is a relational God who wants an intimate relationship with us. He wants us to pray to him. He wants us to thank him. He wants us to glorify him. He wants us to live a life pleasing to him. And in heaven, I mean, that's all we do is we're relating to him and doing stuff in heaven. I don't know what heaven looks like. I mean, we only get glimpses of heaven. And I've heard that the colors are like, there's colors that you've never seen. There's animals and creatures and all kinds of stuff that you've never seen. That there's people who live in mansions. There's people who are like communing together. There's There's a lot of stuff that I think has been hidden from us that we will see in heaven. With us always, knows every detail, interacting with the world and having it go a certain way. He is a covenant keeper, and he doesn't break this. Unchanging, never cease pursuit of all of us. He makes covenants with people of the past, and he keeps every single one of them. And it's just like us. I mean, when we make a promise or tell someone that we're going to do something, I mean, your word is supposed to be your bond, and that was how we lived in the olden days. Our word was either really good or our word stunk. Um, and today, most people's words don't mean crap. I mean, most people will go the opposite way. It's like, well, I didn't really mean that, or that's not what I said. Um, doesn't end. He is eternal and wants a holy, pure people to live with. Be there among him. YHWH originates in Midian and derives from term for love, desire, or passion. El Shaddai to patriarchs. Um, so those are a few words about names. And you ought to pay attention to names in the Bible. There are, like, for instance, my name is a Celtic name. Brian is it's for courage and strength and virtuous. And so I mean it's I am fairly, I don't know, there's been times when I've been knocked on my butt, but you got to look up names of different people and how the names that we have been given reflect our character. And I mean, these names don't just appear out of nowhere. I mean, a lot of times these names are given to us, especially if we're Christian. Well, I mean, even if you're not, I mean, sometimes God reveals names that to your parents to call you, so He can call you different things. And but yeah, so thank you for joining me. This is just a quick, brief, whatever. But yes, start looking into names. Use like Strong's Concordance and other things, and you may find some interesting things. Take care. God bless.